Hi, my name is Jessica. I'm 24 years old and I have epilepsy. I was diagnosed with epilepsy about 3 years ago. I wanted to share my experience with epilepsy because it's really important to me, and it's November, and November is Epilepsy Awareness Month, and I think it's really important to share your story. I think stories can be really powerful, especially for people that need hope and that need answers, and are looking to others to relate to. So I had my first seizure the night before my grandfather's funeral, and I was bound and determined to get done this project that I was making. I was making a memo board with pictures of him and some really nice quotes, that I wanted to put in the, front of the ceremony and everything. And I was just sitting there and my arm kept flailing, and I looked at my brothers and I'm like, are you seeing this? It was happening beyond my control, and I was just dumbfounded by what was happening. And my mom was going to get some things for the funeral, and I said, okay, I'll go with you. And she was like, no, you're not feeling very well. And I said, no, I'm feeling fine. And I got in the car, and these jerks started becoming more intense in my arms, like to where my mom was looking over at me and just saying, Jessica, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm not doing anything. And I don't remember anything after that point. I woke up in the hospital, in a hospital gown, and they told me that I had a seizure, and I didn't really know what that meant at that point. I had found out that I went into a tonic-clonic seizure, started convulsing, threw up all over myself, my clothes, and pretty much the next day the doctor came in and diagnosed me with epilepsy and started me on Keppra. And it all happened kind of fast, I think. My license was revoked. My whole life was turned upside down. And the medicine I was on, to me, was absolutely horrible. And I spent months in a clouded fog. And it affected my school life, academics, work, everything. And my license, and not being able to drive for about 2 years, was incredibly difficult, because I depended on my family a lot. And that was hard for me because I considered myself a pretty independent person. And I finally pleaded with my doctor to switch medications, and she put me on Depakote, which I wasn't on very long because I had horrible mood swings, and she had put me on Lamictal. I had a few more grand mal seizures, and from what my family tells me, they weren't very pretty. They were all pretty consistent, starting off with particular aura of me having the jerks in my limbs, and then just going into a seizure, which I don't remember, eyes rolling back, falling to the floor, convulsing, not breathing, clenching up, you know, I've pulled muscles in my body because of it. You know, when I would wake up, I'd be very disoriented, not know where I am, what's going on. And it was a hard thing for me to take, and I was very unsatisfied with the fact that I was on medication and still getting seizures. So I just stopped taking all my medication, against my doctor's request. And I sought out a epileptologist in Media, Pennsylvania, and she started me on time-released phenytoin, and along with calcium and vitamin D, and I have been very happy with that, and I've been very happy with my doctor, and I'm happy to say that I've been over a year seizure-free. I got my license back this year, which was incredibly exciting, but also very nerve-wracking for myself and my family. But it was something that I felt I was able to do because I felt comfortable enough with myself that if something were to happen, if I were to feel a certain way, I would have adequate time to pull over, or, you know, or put the car in a safe enough environment to park it and let the seizure happen, you know, what have you. But regardless, the stigma still remains, and it's something that I've had to come to terms with. And honestly, that's probably the hardest part. You know, you need to find a doctor that you're happy with and that you trust, and you have to find a medication that works for you and doesn't jeopardize your quality of life, because there's so many medications out there that there's no reason that you need to have all of these horrible side effects to treat it. I mean, it's yeah, sure, there's no cure, but there's a lot of treatments. There's a lot. I mean, and not just medications with the ketogenic diet or surgery or, you know, whatever. So, I mean, at this point in time, I'm very happy and secure in my stance, and I really would like to lend out a helping hand in the community however I can, and I feel that those that can should. I know that there's individuals in much worse off conditions than I am. I couldn't imagine if I had the anxiety of having a seizure every day, let alone more than once a day, or or anything. I mean, you know, I just can't imagine, and I know that people go through that. But there is a support there, and for the longest time I felt that nobody could understand how I felt or what I was going through, but there are people that do, you know, and there's great resources through the Epilepsy Foundation, and there's support groups, and there's communities and representatives that you can talk to get in touch with people so that you don't feel alone, and that you can, you know, strengthen your self-esteem to go through, because, you know, you need to have hope and you need to have determination, because you can get through it. And I would like to help. And if any way you can get the word out, that will help incredibly. So, thanks for watching.